Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. Since we have these developments in East Asia and all these meetings in Tokyo, in Japan, we keep hearing about the Quad. And some of you might know about what that is, the Quad, this little alliance in the Pacific area. And I thought that maybe I have to make a video explaining a little bit, reading their explanation what the Quad is. So I want to start with this article from Associated Press, which came 2 days ago, came on the 23rd of May. And what is the four-nation Quad? Where did it come from? I personally was not very familiar with the subject. I knew it was an alliance in the over there, Australia, probably Japan, United States, I don't know, India probably, something like this it was. I think it was India too. So there's four. But I said, okay, let me just be a little bit more clear about it. So it says here that leaders of the US, Japan, Australia, and India gathered in Tokyo on Tuesday for a summit of the Quad. What is the group? All right. So formally the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue. Quadrilateral. So it's quadrilateral security dialogue. The Quad began as a loose partnership after the devastating 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, when the four countries joined together to provide humanitarian and disaster assistance to affected regions. Okay, so that's it used to be a humanitarian uh, group. It was formalized by former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in 2007, but then fell dormant for nearly a decade, particularly amid Australians' concern that its participation in the group would irritate China. You think? So the group was resurrected in 2017, reflecting changing attitudes in the region towards China's growing influence. Both the Trump and Biden administrations saw the Quad as key to a pivot towards placing more focus on the Indo-Pacific region, particularly as a counterweight to China's assertive actions. The Quad leaders held their first formal summit in 2021 and met again virtually in March. All right. And he says here, is it an Asian NATO? Well, no, it was a humanitarian group, right? But they tried to turn it into that. Not only economically, probably try and turn it into a military alliance. China has complained that the group represents an attempt at forming an Asian NATO. So why wasn't China invited to join? Did China not want to join? I'm not aware. I don't know. But when you have this kind of alliances like NATO, you remember Vladimir Putin asked former President Clinton, hey, maybe China, Russia will join one day NATO. And then what did President Clinton answer? He said, well, China is a big country, doesn't need alliances against whom? Who's going to threaten Russia? There you have it. So, and then that's the way it went away. Couldn't I know Russia tried a few times to be a member of NATO, to this and that, but they were just observant, kind of, just to see how these guys are talking, but nothing militarily, nothing of substance actually. Now I know a friend of mine who's not alive anymore. He said that courage is always like alone or singular, and cowardness is always made out of members. So something like that. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. I read this. So you know what I mean. When you're alone, you're courageous. When you show up alone, but when you show up in a group, you're not very courageous. And the same guy said that something like this. You will not make you're not going to make a courageous decision out of 100 cowards, but you can make a courageous decision out of one courageous person. Maybe you know who that person said it. So, is it an Asian NATO? China has, it was from the previous century, just to give you a clue. China has complained that the group represents an attempt at forming an Asian NATO through, though unlike the European alliance, there is no mutual defense pact in effect yet. Quad members say the group is meant to deepen economic, diplomatic, and military ties among the four countries. Military ties. I wonder against whom. So, in March 2022, declaration laying out the spirit of the Quad, the leaders said, and I'm quoting, "We bring diverse perspectives and are united in a shared vision for the free and open Indo-Pacific. We strive for a region that is free, open, inclusive, healthy, anchored by democratic values and unconstrained by coercion." Wow. Okay. Well, if you take maybe United States out of that, maybe the other three could fall under that idea. But with United States in it, I don't think you have all these things like coercion, inclusive, you're just excluded, free, open. China just had a pact with Solomon Islands, two independent sovereign countries, and see how free they are to do that. They're all drawing red lines. Australia, United States are upset about it. So yeah, it's a lot of free, diverse perspectives. If you want diverse perspectives, maybe you want to have some dictators in that. It's a diverse, not all of you democratic countries. How about that? Only through discussions, through debates, using your brain, you can get to an understanding. Not with boom boom. You know what I mean? So Tuesday's meetings marks the first in-person gathering of the group for Japanese Minister Fumiko Kishida, who took office last October, as well as for Australian new Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. What about India? Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is attending as he faces increasing global scrutiny over his government's crackdown on minorities and some authoritarian tendencies. You know why that is now is coming up? Because they buy Russian oil, that's why, and they don't want to sanction and they don't raise their hand when United States want them to raise the hand at United Nations. That's why now it's authoritarian. We're still in between. If this fails, then he's definitely like that. This moral posturing is just makes me throw up. Because, if at least if it would be Jesus Christ coming and say, you know what, guys, you're very, F up. But who's coming? Who's saying that? United States? I don't think so. I mean, they're just in Japan, dropped 2 atomic bombs, 75 years ago or something? 77 years ago? And they're the moral ones, over cities, not military installations, as BBC reported. I have that recording. The United States dropped first atomic bomb over Hiroshima over some military installations. Okay, well, and then boom, over the whole freaking town. So then it says here that authoritarian tendencies. In addition, while the other members of the Quad have been united in standing up against Russia's invasion of Ukraine, especially with sanctions, India increased its purchase of Russian energy supplies after the invasion. Moreover, the invasion had led to food shortages that are causing price spike. Yet India banned wheat exports following a heat wave that could make the global challenge much tougher to resolve. Who else is involved? South Korea has explained interest in joining the Quad. New Zealand and Vietnam, which could form the basis for future expansion or partnership in the region. Yep. So now you have it, and I have it. A little bit more information about that. Now we are at least about 20 IQ points above the average, knowing all this. Because I bet if you go and ask, what's the Quad and what's that, they would be like, I don't know, it's a motorcycle on 4 wheels or something. Let's say exactly what it is. Well, I shouldn't play smart here because I wasn't uh, too informed either. So a little bit of humbleness here necessary. But anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See ya.